So next up is inline display. Basically, this is how text is displayed. It is displayed horizontally, and so it reads left to right. And so if you put an item as a child inside of here, it's not going to move stuff around. It's going to be displayed in line. So that is the default for inline. Or sorry, that is the default for text. As you can see, the display property is set to here. It won't change anything. Honestly, this specific lesson is more HTML specific than it is CSS specific. However, you can apply display inline to other objects. So, index HTML, open and closing. Oh my gosh, this is HTML. This is not CSS. Okay. Word welcome. Strong. Whoops. I should probably do a closing tag on that. Run. Yay. Okay. So if you wanted to actually have a CSS thing here, I would do span with a class equals strong, or be a little bootstrappy and be FW bold. Okay, and then span, and then go to your style.css and then add a FW bold and this will be, so notice how this is a bold welcome. All you have to do, FW stands for font weight bold, and we'll do the same thing. So if you want to actually have it a CSS lesson, that's what it's doing. So basically, there are different texts that are all in line. So now we have display block. So block is the default value for all divs. Basically, everything that is everything is a display block. Elements that are block level include all elements of heading elements. I think it also includes span and stuff. Span is not display block. Span is inline. Same thing with I and strong, I'm pretty sure. So in the example above, will all be displayed on their own line. So if I go to, this is stupid. This is an HTML thing. Okay, add a footer element at the bottom of the element right above it. Okay, footer. Great. Run. Nothing changed. That's because the footer element is empty. Add an H3 instead of the thing. Okay. This is HTML. This is not CSS. What the heck? I just added H3. Thanks for taking our survey. Run. Great. So notice how there's a thing there. To improve the appearance of the web page, set the height of the footer to be 100 pixels in style.css. So there's style.css, footer, height, 100 pixels. Great. Although this doesn't really teach you anything. This doesn't teach you blocks, in my opinion. So what we did, we obviously added a footer and stuff like that. But this block did not have a height until we put on our H3, which is also a block. Okay. But my inline, strong, this will be inline and will make taking strong. Oh, H3 is probably already strong. Have a font weight bold on there. H3 font weight 700. I'm gonna get rid of that. All right. So, oh my gosh, what the heck? Why didn't that? Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. Thanks for taking. And then what about strong? Okay, this is kind of annoying. I put taking inside of it. Thanks for taking our survey. Why isn't this doing anything? Okay, what if I do that? Just completely get rid of all of it. Thanks for taking our... Really? Maybe it's just not rendering properly. Run. This is stupid. Whatever. Maybe strong isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. But if I make if I put this display block on here, hopefully it'll do what it's supposed to. That is not what it's supposed to do. Yeah, notice how taking has now been moved to a new line. So this, before I put that display block on there, it was an inline, and now it is a display block. Okay, so now you've got an inline block, which is really useful for like these columns and things, although there are better ways to do it, but whatever. The value of the display property is inline block, yada, yada, yada. Basically, you've got a block, but it's now next to each other. Great. So let's set display property of list elements to li block. Okay. So display inline block. So let's take a look at what is a list element li. Okay, so all of those are going to now be horizontal with each other. Run. Yay, we've got all of those horizontal. In my opinion, there's a better way to do this, but whatever. Li blocks to 80 pixels. So now all of those are going to have the same width. Li width 80 pixels. Great. Yay, now they're 80 pixels. Now we can reduce the offset of the welcome section and set it to 50 pixels. Yeah, okay, fine. Great. Set the display property of our dot answer to inline block. Why? Display inline block. Okay, display. I wish they would have like had a list of all of the display properties and been able to explain them. So these are all the answers. Now that I'm presume. Yikes. Did I do that wrong? Oh, I did that on hover. That's funny. All right, there we go. That makes more sense. Yeah, that looks terrible, in my opinion, but whatever. Yep, great. So, yeah, position. Okay, now we've got float. This is turning into a long video. They should have had a list of all of these at the beginning like they did with display. Anyway, not display, with position. Okay, so float, if you want it to be as far right as possible in the container, you use float. Again, there's better. I think there's an easier way to do that one. When in doubt, use flexbox. Just when in doubt, you use flex. It's just easy to work with. But we're not doing that. We are using float. Oh wait, no, we're not. Wait. Yeah, we're still on display and positioning, but this is suited for tools. Okay, yeah, exactly. Like I was saying. Okay, whatever. The float property is often set using the values below. Okay, left, float, right. Okay, so we're gonna float something. Float the dot answer to the right. Float right. I have never used that. What? Oh, it's because it's inside of an inline block as well. All right, so now all of those are like that. Oh, I float left. Left. Whatever. Great. Now those are floated left. Fantastic. Let's take a look at what is actually happening there inside of the HTML. So you got answer. Notice how a question engulfs all of these. So you've got your actual question, and then you have your answer. And so this is not the question. This entire box is the question. So I'm just gonna add a little box on question. Border red 1 pixel. So you can actually see what's happening. What? Oh, solid. There we go. So now you can see that the answers are now on the left. It's kind of like it's out of order. So now it's you're floating. It's starting here, disagree, neutral, agree, and then it's going up here because you're floating it to the left. If I float right, it'll start with this one and then go these three. Okay. Again, it's easier with Flexbox, which they stated right here. It's just easier. I even don't use grid. You just use Flexbox. It's just easier. All right. Clear is something else. All right, the clear property specifies how the element should behave when they bump into each other on the page. I have never used this before. Although maybe I should. I don't know. Again, Flexbox. And Bootstrap. Bootstrap just makes everything easier. Left is the left side element. Will not touch any other element within the same containing element. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. The element can touch either side. Understood. So, answer on the page. They have been floated left, but the question divs are touching the answer divs on the right. Okay, so yeah, you also have a weird thing there. So the question selector set the clear property to the left. Okay, that's stupid. Question clear left. Run. Let's see what that looks like. This looks horrible. Is that really what you want? On second thought, okay, yeah, that's funny. Remove the float property from answer. All right, fantastic. And we're going to leave the display inline block. All right, great. Yeah. All right, so layout, you've got your position and display. And if you just go to CSS display properties, there are even more. So W3 Schools is good. There are better. I think the MDN docs, are better. So you can have all sorts of things, but you've got block, which is the default. I'm going to zoom in so you can see better. You've got block, which is the default. Inline, which is like text. Inline block, which like combines those two. We've learned that. Flex, we're probably going to learn, and grid, we're probably going to learn later. But in my opinion, we should learn now. And then none basically means that it is not shown on the page. It is also not even like it's not taking up space. It's not like visibility or opacity. It literally is not taking up any space and it's acting as if the HTML does not exist on the page. Okay. Display contents probably is it only displays the inside. That's probably what it means. And you can read the docs on this. Inherit, yada, yada, yada. Those are global values, other values. Yeah, you should read the MDN docs. There's some good information on that. All right, so display and clear and float. For some reason, those are thrown in there. So yeah, CSS stuff.